Welcome back, and in this demo lesson you're going to create the AWS account structure which you'll be using for the remainder of the course. Now at this point what we need to do is to log in to the general AWS account. So I'm currently logged in as the IAM admin user of my general AWS account, and I've got the Northern Virginia region selected. Now you're going to need a few things for this demo lesson. The first thing you'll need is the email address of the account root user of the production AWS account. So you should have created two completely separate AWS accounts towards the start of the course. The general account, so this is the one which I'm currently logged into, and then the production AWS account. So you'll need the email address that's associated with that production AWS account, so the email that you used to create the AWS account. You're also going to need either two different web browsers or a web browser such as Firefox which is capable of using different sessions, because we're going to be logged into multiple AWS accounts at once. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is create the AWS organization. So because I'm logged in to the general AWS account, I'm logged into an account which is a standard AWS account. It isn't part of an AWS organization, and so it's not a management account and it's not a member account. So what we need to do is to move to the AWS Organizations part of the console and create the organization. So let's do that. So to do that, go to Find Services and just start typing Organizations, and then click to move to the AWS Organizations console. Once we're here, go ahead and click on Create Organization. This is going to start the process of creating this AWS organization, and as part of that, it will convert this standard account to be the management account of the organization. So go ahead and click on Create Organization, and that will complete the process. So now we have the AWS organization, and within it this one single AWS account. So the general account has now been converted to the management account of this AWS organization. Now you might see a message saying that we've sent a verification email to this email address. So this is the email address that's associated with the general AWS account, which is now the management account of the organization. And you'll need to click the link within this email to verify this address so you can continue using AWS Organization. So if you do have that notification on screen, go ahead and verify that email before continuing. If you don't have a notification, you're good to continue. Now at this point, what I'll need you to do is to open a brand new web browser, or a web browser such as Firefox, which is capable of handling different sessions, and I'll want you to log in to the production AWS account. So just be careful at this point. You need to make sure that this is a completely separate session, and if in doubt, use a completely different web browser, because we need to maintain logins to both this management account and the production account. So I'm going to go ahead and log in to the IAM admin user of the production AWS account. So now I'm logged into the production AWS account with this separate browser session. So either you'll use a separate browser session or a completely different browser. At this point, you're going to need the account ID for the production AWS account. So click on the account drop down and make sure that you copy this account ID into your clipboard, and it needs to be the account ID for the production AWS account. Once you've got that, go back to the browser or the session where you have the general account open. So this is now the management account of the AWS organization. And we're going to invite the production AWS account into this organization. So currently, the only account which is a member of this organization is the general account, which is the management account of the organization. And we're going to invite the production account. So go ahead and click on Add Account. We're going to be inviting an existing account into this organization, so click on Invite Account, and you'll need to provide either the email address of the production account which you used while signing up, or the account ID. And I've just demonstrated getting the account ID of the production account from this drop down, so I'm going to enter this account ID into the box. Now, if you're inviting an account which you administer, you don't have to put any notes, but optionally, if you're inviting an account that's administered by somebody else, then it might be nice to type a message. In either case, once you've entered the email or the account ID, just scroll down and click on Send Invitation. Now, depending on your specific AWS account, it is possible that you might receive an error message at this point telling you there are too many accounts within the organization. Different AWS accounts are created with different account quotas, and so it's possible that you might get an error at this point. If you do, you just need to log a support request asking for an increase in the number of AWS accounts which can be part of an AWS organization. If you don't get an error message, then this invite process has started. What we need to do now is to accept this invite from the production AWS account. So let's go back to this other tab and move across to the Organizations console. So in the Find Services box, just type Organizations and then click to move to the Organizations console. And towards the mid left, you should see this heading saying Invitations. And if you just click on Invitations, you'll be able to see an overview of all of the invitations which apply to this production AWS account. So this is the invite that we just sent from the general AWS account, which is the management account for our organization. So go ahead and click on accept, and this completes the process of joining the organization. So now the production account is a member of the AWS organization, and we can verify that by returning to the tab where we logged in to the general AWS account, which is now the management account for this organization, and just hit refresh, and now we should see two AWS accounts, the general account and the production account. Okay, so this is the end of part one of this lesson. It was getting a little bit on the long side, and so I wanted to add a break. It's an opportunity just to take a rest or grab a coffee. Part two will be continuing immediately from the end of part one. So go ahead, complete the video, and when you're ready, join me in part two.